American sons and daughters are bleeding in Saudi Arabia right now. 13 American service members are dead. Over 300 have been wounded. The Pentagon is secretly preparing weeks of ground operations inside Iran. Special forces are being lined up to raid nuclear sites. The USS Tripoli just arrived in the Middle East carrying 2,500 Marines who were pulled away from exercises near Taiwan. And Iran just fired 6 ballistic missiles and 29 drones at a Saudi air base housing thousands of American troops. This is not a drill. This is not a threat. This is the Iran war in its 4th week, and it is spiraling in ways nobody in Washington is willing to say out loud. Let us start with what just happened at Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, because this story broke just days ago, and every American needs to know exactly what occurred. On Friday, March 27, Iran launched a coordinated strike on the heavily defended Prince Sultan Air Base, located about 60 miles from the Saudi capital of Riyadh. The attack involved 6 ballistic missiles and 29 drones fired simultaneously at the installation. At least 15 American troops were wounded in the attack, including 5 who were seriously injured. At least 2 United States Air Force refueling aircraft were damaged in the strike. This was not a stray missile. This was a deliberate, calculated, multi-weapon assault on a base housing thousands of American military personnel. And it was not the first time. The base has been targeted almost constantly since the war began on February 28th. Army Sergeant Benjamin N. Pennington, just 26 years old, was wounded during a March 1 attack on that same base and died days later. He is one of 13 American service members now confirmed killed in this war. 6 of the fallen were killed when an Iranian drone struck an operations center at a civilian port in Kuwait. Another 6 died when their refueling plane crashed in Iraq. Over 300 American troops have been wounded in total. 30 remain out of action. 10 are considered seriously wounded. While those numbers are coming in, the Pentagon has been quietly preparing for something far bigger and far more dangerous. The Washington Post, citing unnamed American officials, reported on Saturday that the Pentagon has been preparing for weeks of ground operations inside Iran. These are not hypothetical plans sitting on a shelf somewhere. These are active preparations involving special operations forces and conventional infantry troops. The potential operations include raids on Kharg Island, which handles roughly 90% of Iran's crude oil exports, and attacks on coastal sites near the Strait of Hormuz to find and destroy Iranian weapons capable of targeting commercial and military shipping. One official said the objectives would probably take weeks, not months, to complete. Another estimated a couple of months. The United States and Israel have also discussed sending special forces directly into Iran to physically seize Tehran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. 4 sources with knowledge of those discussions confirmed this to Axios. And the challenge is enormous. Iran is sitting on 450 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium that could be converted to weapons-grade material within weeks. If the entire stockpile reached 90% purity, it would be enough material for 11 nuclear bombs. The uranium is currently buried under rubble from earlier strikes, but United States and Israeli officials acknowledge they need boots on the ground to locate it, secure it, and either transport it out or destroy it on site. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Congress plainly that people are going to have to go and get it. Trump was asked directly on Air Force One whether ground troops might be deployed to Iran. He did not rule it out. He said it was possible, but only for a very good reason. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said that ground operations are not part of the plan right now, but that Trump wisely keeps all options open. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told CBS News the United States is willing to go as far as we need to go. Now here is where the panic sets in, because all of this is happening while the war is expanding outward in every direction simultaneously. Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen fired their first missile toward Israel since the war began just this past Saturday. Israel's air defenses intercepted it. Hezbollah in Lebanon is also firing rockets at northern Israel. Iran has struck Bahrain, the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia with drones and ballistic missiles. Israel is simultaneously moving thousands of troops across the border into Lebanon to fight Hezbollah. The Iranian government's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has now directly threatened to target American universities operating in the Middle East after claiming United States and Israeli strikes destroyed 2 Iranian universities. Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf delivered a chilling warning when news of the Pentagon's ground operations planning became public. He said, "The enemy is publicly sending messages of negotiation and dialogue while secretly planning a ground attack." He then said directly, "Our men are waiting for the arrival of American soldiers on the ground to set them on fire and punish their regional allies once and for all." Iran is not bluffing. The country has 420,000 military personnel, plus hundreds of thousands in reserve. It has spent decades preparing for exactly this scenario, a potential American ground incursion. Its terrain is mountainous and brutal. It has drones, missiles, and improvised explosive devices positioned throughout the country. Former United States Ambassador to Iraq, James Jeffrey, who served under President George W. Bush, told reporters bluntly that the United States has not stopped Iran from its campaign against the Gulf, has not eliminated all of their missiles, and of course they still have over 400 kilograms of highly enriched uranium. It is buried but still there. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal walked out of a classified Senate Armed Services Committee briefing on Iran war plans and told reporters he was the angriest he had been in his entire political career. He said he emerged more dissatisfied and angry than from any briefing in 15 years in office. He said he had more questions than answers and was most concerned about the threat to American lives of potentially deploying American sons and daughters on the ground inside Iran. The broader war picture at the 1-month mark is deeply troubling. The Strait of Hormuz remains blocked. Oil prices remain above $100 a barrel. Trump gave Iran until April 6th to reopen the strait or face consequences. Iran rejected Trump's 15-point peace plan. Iran is demanding that Lebanon be included in any ceasefire deal, tying the Iran war to the Lebanon war and making a resolution dramatically more complicated. The Houthis are now entering the fight. The war has upended global air travel, disrupted oil exports, and is pushing global inflation higher. Meanwhile, the USS Tripoli, an amphibious assault ship carrying 2,500 Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, was pulled away from exercises near Taiwan, where China is watching every move America makes, and dispatched to the Middle East 2 weeks ago. It arrived in the region just this Saturday. The Pentagon is also requesting $200 billion in supplemental military funding. That is not the budget of a war that is winding down. The American people deserve to see this clearly. This war is 1 month old. 13 Americans are dead. 300 are wounded. The Pentagon is planning ground raids. Special forces may enter Iran to seize nuclear material. Iran is firing missiles at American bases every week. The Houthis have joined the fight. Lebanon is burning, and Iran says it is ready and waiting for American boots on Iranian soil. Whatever promises were made about this being fast, clean, and decisive, the reality on the ground tells a completely different story. The next decision Trump makes in the coming days could be the most consequential of his presidency and the most dangerous for the men and women wearing the American uniform right now.